The Journal is exclusively reporting that U.S. investigators believe missing flight Malaysian Airlines 370 flew for an additional 4 hours after losing contact. I'm Jeffrey Ng. I'm joined now by the Journal's aviation correspondent, John Ostrower, in Washington, D.C. John, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us at this early hour in your time. Could you update us with this very interesting, significant development?
Several hours ago, we reported that the Malaysian 777 appears to have flown on for an additional 4 hours after it was last seen by officials. And that was determined through a continual monitoring of the engines that happened even after the transponder stopped broadcasting for whatever reason in the early hours of Saturday morning over the Gulf of Thailand. That revelation opens up a whole new world of questions, namely, where did the aircraft go? Who diverted it, apparently, and what does that mean for the investigation? These are all questions that we're going to be delving into in the days to come, but certainly it's almost like we've gone back to square one on what we thought we knew at this point.
The transponders of an aircraft, which was apparently either switched off or malfunctioned at the point where contact was lost, but the engines continued to send data to the ground. What kind of data does an engine send to the ground and to the airline?
So there are a few different types of pieces of information that an airline would want to collect during a flight. It's mostly used for maintenance data primarily. So, for example, Rolls-Royce, as a service to Malaysian, pulls engine data as the airplane flies. So that's anything from the speed of the fans, the temperature inside the engine, making sure that everything is really healthy. And there are sensors throughout the engine as it's operating that provide this kind of composite picture of the health of the engine. It's downlinked about every 30 minutes in snapshots and analyzed for trends during the course of a flight or compared to other flights to really kind of get ahead of the types of maintenance issues. But in this case, what it tells investigators is that the airplane and its engines continued on for an additional 4 hours after that first hour of flying under radar coverage. So certainly what we've got here is the first definitive clue to what may have happened to this aircraft, and you know, in the amount of time that's elapsed since the early Saturday morning, what we've had is virtually nothing. So this is really an important step forward in terms of understanding the pace of the investigation and ultimately the scope of it, which is likely set to grow considerably based on the cruising speed of a Boeing 777.
So, John, would this data from the engines provide any sort of geographic information of where the plane could have went, or is it mainly more specific to the performance of the aircraft?
Well, it's mostly specific to the performance of the engine, but there are other pieces of data that are embedded in the stream of data. For example, not necessarily the aircraft position, but the aircraft altitude and its airspeed, which are important factors when you talk about the health and performance of an engine. So that'll be certainly really important to investigators as they look at this. Really, this is really the first sign that we've got that something additional was going on after that point. Whether up until now there had either been questions about whether or not the airplane had crashed near the last known site, or whether it had turned, or something happened. But this is really, again, our first indication using concrete data to say that this airplane continued to fly for an additional 4 hours.
Are investigators ruling out perhaps if the plane landed somewhere and didn't crash?
Well, that's something that they're certainly looking at. The one thing that investigators are looking at, and then the officials that have been briefed on this indicate that they are following the potential that the aircraft could have been acquired for use later on. What exactly that means and what the implications of that are, we don't know at this point, and we that's just not clear. But certainly that's something that's going to be revealing itself, hopefully, in the days to come as this investigation unfolds.
Obviously be keeping a close watch on this. John Ostrower joining us from Washington. Thank you so much for your time.